Welcome to English Easy Hub. Join us as we ignite the flames of your English learning journey together.
Please subscribe to watch and embark on your English learning journey. Don't miss out on the exciting content. In this dialogue, Alex, an English learner striving for native-like fluency, consults his professor for in-depth techniques to enhance his spoken English. They explore practical ways to improve intonation, rhythm, vocabulary, and cultural understanding. Beyond basic pronunciation, the professor introduces advanced skills like shadowing, active listening, and using polite expressions that reflect cultural nuances. Together, they uncover a layered approach to speaking naturally, which combines pronunciation refinement, rhythm, idiomatic usage, and cultural immersion.
Hi, Professor. I've been working hard on my English, especially with pronunciation and fluency, but I still feel that I fall short when compared to native speakers. Could you share some advanced techniques or specific skills that could help me speak more naturally?
Absolutely, Alex. Reaching a level close to native fluency takes dedication, but it's entirely achievable with focused practice. Let's start with intonation and rhythm. These are often overlooked, but make a big difference. English has a certain musicality. Unlike many languages, it's stress-timed. Native speakers stress certain syllables while others get shortened or connected. If you can master this rhythm, your speech will sound far more fluid and natural.
That makes sense. So, if English has a rhythm, should I be focusing on specific words or phrases to stress? Or is it more about the flow of sentences?
Great question. It's both, actually. Focus on content words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, as these are typically stressed. Function words, like prepositions and articles, are often reduced and spoken quickly. For example, in the phrase, "I went to the store," native speakers tend to stress "went" and "store" while reducing asterisk to the asterisk. Listening to native conversations and mimicking these patterns can be very effective for internalizing the rhythm.
Interesting. I usually focus on speaking each word clearly, so this approach will definitely be new for me. Do you have any techniques for practicing this stress timing and rhythm?
Yes, shadowing is one of the best techniques. Find a short clip of a native speaker, ideally from conversational or situational contexts like interviews or casual dialogues. Listen carefully and try to repeat immediately after, imitating their rhythm, intonation, and even breathing patterns. Pay attention to how they connect words and where they pause. Another exercise is to practice thought groups. Native speakers don't say entire sentences in one breath. They group words into smaller chunks. By practicing these natural pauses, you'll start to sound more fluid.
Shadowing sounds challenging but engaging. I'll give it a try. Sometimes I feel like my accent really gets in the way, though. Do you think I should be focusing on accent reduction, or will that come naturally with time?
A slight accent isn't necessarily a disadvantage. Many people find it charming, but clarity is key. If there are specific sounds that consistently cause miscommunication, it might be worth focusing on those. For instance, English has some unique sounds like the th sound in this or think. Practicing these individually can build precision, but integrating them into full sentences is the real goal.
I do struggle with certain sounds, especially th and the short I versus e sound. Should I be drilling these sounds in isolation, or is it better to practice them within sentences?
Start with isolated practice until you feel comfortable. Then gradually incorporate them into sentences. Here's a tip. Exaggerate the sounds at first. For example, for th, place your tongue between your teeth and push air out. Practicing exaggerated sounds may feel odd, but it actually trains your muscles. Once they're familiar, you can produce them more subtly.
This is all making so much sense. And for vocabulary, should I focus on native expressions and slang to sound more natural, or would that sound forced?
Slang and idiomatic expressions can help, but they should feel natural. Start with commonly used expressions that are universal across regions. You might focus on phrasal verbs, as native speakers use them constantly. Expressions like look forward to, run into, or catch up are conversational, but not overly colloquial. Listening to how they're used in different contexts will help you gauge when to use them.
I see, so the goal is to understand the feel of these expressions rather than memorizing them. Are there other elements that play into sounding natural?
Precisely, and humor is another big element. Humor reveals cultural understanding, so observing comedic timing or how jokes are phrased in English is invaluable. Don't hesitate to ask native speakers why something is funny. That often gives unique insights into cultural nuances and wordplay.
Thank you for these insights, Professor. You mentioned humor and cultural nuances. How can I deepen my understanding of cultural aspects of English beyond just the language itself?
Immersing yourself in the culture is as important as mastering language mechanics, Alex. I'd recommend exposing yourself to a variety of content. News, TV shows, films, and even podcasts. Notice how people express emotions, handle disagreements, or show politeness. In English-speaking cultures, for example, people tend to soften their statements to be polite, using phrases like "would you mind?" or "could you possibly?" Observing these subtleties will build your cultural competence and allow you to respond in a way that feels natural.
That's fascinating. I hadn't realized that politeness could be embedded so deeply in sentence structure. I often just directly ask for things. Should I practice incorporating more polite expressions?
Yes, that's an excellent idea. Politeness markers like please, thank you, or excuse me can make a big difference, especially in Western contexts. Try practicing indirect requests or softened statements. Instead of saying, "Give me the book," try, "Could you hand me the book?" It may seem subtle, but it's significant in conversational English.
I'll definitely work on that. Speaking of subtleties, are there specific tips for improving my listening skills to better catch these nuances?
Listening is indeed key. Here's a method. While watching English content, focus on active listening. Instead of just absorbing general ideas, pay attention to how speakers convey tone, sarcasm, or emotion. For instance, when someone says, "That's interesting," listen to their tone. Are they genuinely interested, or is there a hint of irony? Recognizing these undertones will help you not only understand words, but also the intended meaning behind them.
Active listening sounds like it would help me catch those underlying emotions. Should I take notes while I do this, or is it better to just listen and absorb?
Taking notes can be useful, especially for recognizing patterns in tone and emphasis. Jot down specific phrases or intonations that stand out, then try using those yourself. But also try passive listening by playing English audio in the background while doing other tasks. It's a great way to get used to the sounds and rhythms of the language even when you're not fully focused on it.
I like the idea of combining active and passive listening. I'll try that. What about speaking? Are there exercises I can do on my own to practice speaking more fluently?
Certainly. One effective exercise is speaking out loud, where you narrate your daily activities or describe what you see around you in English. This helps you build confidence and improves your thinking speed in English. Additionally, practice expanding your sentences. If you think, "It's sunny today," try building on it. "It's sunny today," which is nice because it's been rainy lately. This trains you to be more descriptive and spontaneous, just like a native speaker.
That sounds fun, and I think it would help me practice vocabulary as well. When I'm practicing alone, though, I sometimes worry about using incorrect grammar or phrasing. How can I catch my own mistakes?
That's natural. One way to self-correct is by recording yourself speaking. Later, listen back and compare it to native speakers' speech patterns. Also, when practicing, avoid overthinking grammar. Fluency and natural flow should come first. As you gain fluency, the grammar will follow. If you notice consistent mistakes, that's when you can drill those specific grammar rules.
Recording myself sounds like a great idea. I'll try to focus on fluency first, as you suggested. I sometimes struggle with thinking in English rather than translating from my native language. Do you have advice on that?
Definitely. To encourage thinking in English, surround yourself with English visuals and thoughts. Label objects around your home with English names, or even change your phone settings to English. Another helpful trick is internal dialogue. When you're alone, try to think through your day or make decisions in English. Over time, this will help you make English your first mental language for certain activities.
That sounds practical. I can see how even small adjustments could make English feel more natural. Do you think I should try to find a language exchange partner to improve my conversational skills?
A language exchange partner can be incredibly valuable, yes. Choose someone who's not only fluent, but also patient enough to give you feedback. Look for partners who enjoy asking questions, as this encourages you to explain your thoughts more deeply. If possible, seek a partner with varied interests. This will help you discuss a range of topics, adding depth and versatility to your language skills.
I'll definitely look into that. What if I don't have access to a native speaker? Are there any other ways to practice conversational English effectively?
Absolutely, Alex. You can simulate conversation by asking yourself questions and then responding as if you're in a dialogue. For example, ask yourself, "What did I do yesterday?" and answer in English. You can also use language apps that simulate conversational settings or even participate in online discussion groups. By engaging actively, you'll gain confidence and improve fluency, even without a partner.
These ideas are fantastic, Professor. I'm really starting to see a structured path to improve my English, not just as a language, but as a way of expressing myself more naturally. Any final advice?
Remember, language learning is a journey of both skill and patience. You're building a voice in English, so celebrate small wins and stay curious about every nuance. The more you enjoy the process, the more natural it will feel. Keep asking questions, stay engaged, and above all, trust your own progress.
Through thoughtful guidance, the professor offers Alex a comprehensive framework to achieve native-like fluency. Emphasizing that language learning is both skill-building and an ongoing journey, he advises Alex to celebrate each milestone, focus on natural expression, and remain curious about every subtlety of English. The professor's tips, such as thinking directly in English, expanding sentences, and practicing active listening, equip Alex not only to communicate effectively, but to express himself authentically. This approach encourages Alex to trust his progress, reminding him that fluency is a blend of practice, patience, and cultural engagement.
Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share to keep the English learning journey alive.